April 4th, 2021. Like, it's wow. I'm gonna take my time with this video. I just want y'all to know that I'm at home, comfortable, natural state, just taking this moment to really just reflect, right? Wow. Y'all will see throughout this video transformation. This has definitely been a journey. A lot of people have been asking me about my changing my eating habits and my appetite, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna talk about all that throughout this video, but I have to start where it started, literally on April 4th, 2020. As you all know, we were in the pandemic, and it happened to be a Sunday, a beautiful Sunday, just as this one is. And I don't know what everyone else's faith is or what you believe in or any of that stuff. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. All of that good stuff. And for me, I was praying for some things, and I've been taught some things come through praying and fasting. And it was put on my heart to fast. Like, and the crazy part was I had just but just finished the fasting for Lent. I had gave up dairy. Anybody who knows me, I love cheese. Like, cheese is so good. Even like thinking about it now, it's like, hey, you know. But that was what I gave up for Lent. And right after that, it's like, you know, it's like, okay, I got my fasting in, boom. But it was laid on my heart to fast specifically what I was praying for. And that's how I literally started this journey. Like, my goal wasn't to lose weight. My goal wasn't to necessarily, in my mind, that moment literally change what I eat and change my diet, like, all the way around. But it was definitely something that was put on my heart to do. And I'm a type person, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right. And if I'm doing it for God, I don't play when it comes to God. Like, you know, I have fun, turn up. But when it comes to God, like, I just don't play no games. And, you know, because I feel like God don't play games with me. Like, you know, God always got my back, pulled me through some of the toughest times in my life. So, like, you know, when it was put on my heart to do the fast, you know, I asked God specifically, like, what is it that you want me to do? You know, what do you want me to fast from? And it ended up being, one of them was social media, and then he gave me a specific plan. I'm gonna read it to y'all. Specific plan on, like, just, you know, what to eat, what not to eat. But not eating meat more than twice a week, not eating starches more than once a week, not eating bread, y'all. Anybody who knows me knows I love bread. I could just eat bread and be satisfied. Not eating bread more than once a week, not eating sweets more than once a week, limiting drinking, like not drinking any alcohol. If I did drink, occasional wine, in a small glass, no more than 8 ounces. At this point, I was permitted to eat dairy, but no more than 3 times within this whole fast. And then drinking nothing but water or naturally made juices. So not what they call 100% juice in the store, but naturally made. So you going to buy the fruit and juicing it, or blending it or whatever. So that was my journey of how it started, April 4th, 2020, last year, today. And for me, when I do something, like I said, I like to do it right. I had started studying Dr. Sebi, and some of you probably have heard of him before, but I started studying Dr. Sebi like back in 2014, 2013, like around that time. It is something that came across my YouTube feed. I was like, what is this about? And it actually really piqued my interest. And during that time, I did start, like after about 2 weeks of like researching and, you know, understanding, you know, the perspective that he was preaching to or teaching to our community, because it was mainly black people. I started to like cut out everything. Like if it wasn't on the list, like I wasn't eating it, just going cold turkey. And it lasted for maybe about a month, and I failed miserably. So, you know, that was always something in the back of my mind, but there were some things that I took away from my research and just, you know, what I did cut out. Like, you know, since then I has like limited like eating broccoli, eating like carrots and stuff like that, stuff that I knew that was like known hybrid foods that were literally man-made. But, you know, just wanted to give some context because like I've been studying him for a while now. This was definitely nothing that's new. But there's also been diet shifts and changes that I've had throughout the years as well, and nothing really stuck for me. I mean, we all go through that, right? Like 1 minute it's like, oh, I'm only eating lean meats, veggies, and, you know, a little bit of carbs or whatever. And don't get me wrong, everything, like things work things work differently for different people. And for me, I think it was just finding what that was. But like going back to flashing forward to last year, this day, I wanted to do it right. So I knew, like, I saw a lot of benefits within that month that I did follow Dr. Sebi's nutritional list back in, I think it was 2014. So I'm like, you know what, if I'm gonna do this fast, I'm gonna do it right. So, you know, although I could eat, you know, starches once a week, meat twice a week, I did those things, but I made sure, like, whatever the vegetables, on the other days, that it was strictly food from Dr. Sebi's nutritional food guide. And I did that, and it was, you know, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was. And like I said, it was a fast, so I took it seriously. Like, you know, like I said, if I do anything for God, it's gonna be done right. And I did that, and it was for 40 days. And within that process, y'all, like, and this is no exaggeration, I even wrote about it. Like, I did some journal prompts and all of that good stuff. Like, I don't know, it's just such a peace. Such a, I don't know, just open-mindedness. I felt better, like more energy, all of that. I was intaking sea moss. I'm sure, you know, it's pretty well known now. And I just was feeling good. And believe it or not, after that 40 days, I was like, I don't even really know if I want to go back. Like, do I really even want to start eating the stuff that I used to eat? Like, I saw so many changes in my body. That was another motivator. Like, that wasn't my intention, but it was a motivator. Like, dang, I lost like 10, 15 pounds, you know, within that 40 days of just limiting myself. So within that process, that's when I learned, like, for me, it takes time. It takes time of just, you know, slowly but surely pulling things out of my diet. Nothing happens overnight. And I think that was my problem before, was just thinking that I could just go cold turkey. And I'm not saying with some stuff, you know, I've done it before. But when it came to food, that was just a struggle for me, that it wasn't so easy for me to just like go cold turkey and just be this. So within that process, it was almost like I was taught how to transition in a healthy way, and giving myself grace. Like you're not perfect. You'll never be perfect, and it takes time. You can't expect a change to just happen overnight. And again, I'm not saying that it hasn't been done, but for me specifically with that area of my life, that's not how it was supposed to go. So within that 40 days, like I said, I was successful. I stuck to it. I didn't shortcut it. But after the 40 days, that's when I made the decision, as I want to continue to transition into this alkaline lifestyle. Like I said, I was just seeing so many positive results from it, and like I felt good. Like, no exaggeration, like I felt good. But believe it or not, I have to be honest, there was a piece in a period of the time where as though I did get anxious and I got a little worried, because I know that the alkaline diet is a mucus releasing, mucus free diet. And what I mean by that is, believe it or not, a lot of the foods that we eat and even was taught to eat that's supposedly like healthy for us really isn't. But it creates mucus in the body, and that's what creates sickness. That's what creates disease such as diabetes, cancer, HIV, like all of that stuff. And this comes from like years of research. And in doing that, a little bit of fear and anxiety had set in. It's like, man, can I really do this? Like, if I clean my body and, you know, I start eating this stuff again, like, will I automatically get sick? Like, it was just all these thoughts coming through my head, just not really knowing what the outcome would be. And within that, like, just trusting God more so, of like, you know what, I brought you this far. You've been transitioning, you've been incorporating some of it at a time, you know, I got you. And it took me a period of time to revisit and rest in that peace, because it did build up some anxiety. So like, oh my God, I really want to do this, but what if I'm like out of the country or something? And
Hey, the family search is coming. Do you want the group picture, family photo?
yeah, we'll take a picture. Okay. Like, there's not many choices for me to eat and all of this other stuff, and you know, it's just a lot in the back of my mind. Obviously, at that period of time, you know, traveling was on a pause. I absolutely love to travel, so definitely a process and a change, and even still. So I stuck to it. I still, like, every now and then ate meat or whatever the case may be. But it was at that point I had like narrowed it down to like, you know what, I think I'm just going to eat seafood if I do eat it. It wasn't even like, oh, every week I'm about to eat this fish or I'm about to get this shrimp or whatever, because I got to this space, like, when you cut out stuff out of your diet for a period of time and you've been consistent, you don't really want those things anymore. Like, you don't. So I started eating fish and, you know, seafood every now and then out of convenience, really, because I enjoyed the food that I ate. Like, I love to cook, so I love getting in the kitchen and just being creative, and that within itself is even a gift, I believe, is from God. Like, literally, like, you know, just like putting stuff together. Like, I don't know, I can't really explain it. Like, if you a cook, or if you know, you chef it up in the kitchen, like, it's certain stuff that you wouldn't even thought to put together. It's like, I don't know, it's like a divine moment I have in the kitchen sometimes. I don't know which one I'm about to eat tonight because they both are like booming with flavor. This is my mushroom soup, and this is my veggie spaghetti. But I have like like that became like it's cooking's always been a hobby, but it became like something I look forward to creating. But as I mentioned, like just out of the convenience, I would still eat, fish or whatever the case may be. And I didn't necessarily feel so bad about it because, I realized I was still accepting the fact that this was going to be a transition for me. This was not something that was happening again overnight. And just continuing that process again, I felt so good. I lost weight, like. Again, that was not my goal, but of course, who doesn't like the results of that? Like, I've been trying to lose weight from years, and as you'll see in some of these photos, like I was large, and nobody ain't tell me that. Still feel some type of way about that, but anyways, people are always like, well, you wore it well, like, you didn't look bad to me. Alright, you saw me getting thicker, you ain't say nothing. But my biggest heaviest years was that 2014-2015 year. I had a lot going on during that time, and I think eating. I've always enjoyed eating. I ain't gonna lie to you. Again, I think part of that just came from just my love of food and my love of creating food. But during that time, it became a lot. It was like, again, I had a lot going on. And just handling my own mental health, to be honest, at that period of time. I was in school in my counseling, my master's program, and that's when I was learning so much about myself. Of like, dang, like, you're really depressed, or dang, you're really anxious, or dang, you really normalized trauma throughout your life, just in general. And within that process, I gained a lot of weight. Like at that point, I was like, what? 190? That was my heaviest, is 190. And I fluctuated between 190 and like 185. So it's like I went from that 2014 year initially of like, hitting it hard. I think I noticed it, but then I again became comfortable within it as well, because like I said, that 2014 year started studying Dr. Savy and all that good stuff, and I dropped the ball. So flashing forward around like 2016, 2017, I did lose some weight. I did start again, like I incorporated some of the stuff that I did learn from the Dr. Savy and just the nutritional guy, and I did lose weight. I was down to like 175, but I was like stuck there, and like stuck there for a while. Like again, after trying like numerous different diet shifts and all that other stuff, just didn't work for me. But this time when I did this fast, flashing forward to last year, and it wasn't even to lose weight. Like that's the part that still baffles me. Like I was literally praying for stuff to happen, and I'm getting to those things too because they happen. But that was my journey, and I'm here now. And from 2015 to 2021, like a whole like 30 pounds lighter. I weigh 150, and I fluctuate between 145 and 155. That's between, but that goes I feel so good, y'all. Like I can't even explain it. But like I said, I learned so much through this process, and a lot of it was just trusting God and staying attuned to His voice, I'm no perfect person. I'm quick to say that. Like, you know, I still got some things I'm working on, but I just shifted my mindset and my thoughts, and just drew closer to God. I just wanted a closer relationship. I wanted to, you know what it means to say the words of, you know, when I think of the goodness of Jesus and all that he's done for me. Like, I wanted to know what that meant. Like, you know, it's one thing to say it, but it's a whole nother to feel it. This joy I have, the world did not give it to me, I'll tell you that. But anyways, I don't want to go in there and start preaching or something. But again, I just wanted to take this moment to reflect on like how far I've come, and it's just such a blessing to be in this space, and to truly like be in this journey, y'all. Like, I'm not perfect. I would say I'm like 90% like alkaline. I just today is the last day, matter of fact, of Lent, and I gave up bread, potatoes, which to include like fries and all that other stuff, and sweet starch aren't alkaline, and I gave that up, and because, you know, I was transitioning, but those are some of the things I still struggle with, like bread, and you know, my fry game was getting out of control. I mean, like Chick-fil-A every day, large fry, Bojangles, Bo Rounds. I don't know if y'all ever had those, but them things hit. It was just a repetitive thing, and I think, like, you know, what I notice sometimes for me is when I pick up eating, there's something else that may be going on, and that's what I have to stay attuned to. And in that moment, I think it was just a lot going on, a lot shifting, and all of that. And like when it's a lot going on, whether it's like a positive thing or a bad thing, like sometimes I get overexcited and then I just, you know, start picking up and eating and all that good stuff. And for me, like before Lent, like, you know, I started a new job last year, 2020, August. And January, I was offered a position to be the assistant clinical director. And, you know, that was a lot of emotion. I'm like, dang, I ain't been on the job 6 months. Like, oof, yeah, of course. I know I could do it, like, when I work hard. But in that time, it was just a lot going on, and just transitioning to that position. It was a new position. It was a created position. It was a God-given position. That's the way I like to look at it, because I am the first assistant clinical director at this particular entity. And I just, you know, like I said, a lot going on. I'm still in school. I'm getting my PhD. I'm in the dissertation phase, and that's been a process. Not even hard. It's just I've been lacking the motivation. I just need to write and get it done. But again, that was one of the things that I noticed when I, you know, started to pick up and eat. So I was like, you know what, this is gonna be one of the things I fast from. And it was a struggle, y'all. A struggle. Yeah, I might get some fries today, man. But no, Chick-fil-A closed today. But I still, like, when I fast from things, like, you know, I may have the desire to want it, but what I noticed the pattern at least has been is that I don't eat as much of it. So even if I did get some today or tomorrow, I don't see it being an everyday thing again like it was. So I'm excited about that. But again, I just wanted to take this time to reflect just on this day, because this day last year literally changed my life. Like I said, I'm lighter. Lighter as in weight. I'm lighter as in emotions and feelings. I know what peace is, and it doesn't come from a position, it doesn't come from a person, it doesn't come from food. The peace I have comes from God. I can't speak for no one else. It just feels good to be in this space, is all I can say. And I work hard to be in this space, because just reflecting on just the times where I didn't have the peace that I have now, it's like I wouldn't want to trade it for nothing else. Like, I know what it's like to cry yourself to sleep. I know what it's like to, you know, be stressed out or like super anxious and worried and all that other stuff. So to be in a space like I don't need nothing else. Like I know that's weird to say, but you know, it just feels good. And I do attribute all of it to God and just giving me the strength. Also, I didn't mention this, but I also prayed prior to this fast. I mean, like a month or two before this fast last year. God help me with my diet because I'm struggling. This is not something that I can do on my own. I tried it. I failed. I tried it. I failed. I tried it. I failed. Take this cup from me, literally, like, cause I can't do it on my own. Just to know a month later that He will bring me into this fast for something completely different. But then it to be a whole lifestyle change. I don't want to go back. Like, I look at meat and stuff now, and this is not to judge anyone who eats meat, because everybody is in their own journey, but like, I literally like, dang, like, wow, you really used to eat that? Like, something dead. Yeah, I'm good on that. And again, like, you know, I'm still in that transitioning phase. I haven't ate seafood though in like maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months, because I'm even pulling officially away from that. Like I want to live this alkaline life, and I'm enjoying it. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And I used to be a meat eater. Like when I go back for seconds, it's not for the sides, it's for the meat. Love steak, love pork chops, like all of that stuff. I mean, who doesn't? Like, we grew up on this stuff. But in knowing what's good for me and my body, and the chance to, you know, God willing, that longevity of not having sickness, since I've transitioned, I haven't been in this transition, I have not been sick. Like, have not been sick. And my allergies around this time usually give me a run for my money. No issues. This COVID running around, thank God, no issues. And I think that was something else I was able to live in peace about, is because if you're like, disease can't live in an alkaline body. So, you know, I think that was my other thing. Like, people were asking me about like getting a vaccine and stuff. I'm like, for what? Like, my body, and I love the way my best friend said it, like, you know, we're expecting the vaccine to do what our body's already created to do, to fight off sickness and disease. Our body is already created to do that, but the problem is our body is so polluted, and our body is ingesting and taking so many things for years that we're not even supposed to eat, but that's a whole other conversation. So that it's a counteractive process for our immune system. So with that being said, if you're still listening to this video, I really appreciate y'all just reflecting on this moment with me. April 4th, 2020 changed it all, and today, April 4th, 2021, I'm still in this journey. I'm proud of myself. And I'm just grateful. Like, I'm really, really grateful. Like, the best feeling is peace. And again, I just want to emphasize, peace does not come from a person. It doesn't come from a position. It doesn't come from a new car. It doesn't come from a new house. It comes from God, and that connection with Him. And again, I'm speaking for myself, because everybody define peace differently. But April 4th, y'all. Something about that number 4. I was born on January 4th. Biblically, the number 4 is the number of direction. And God directed me last year. And I'm looking forward to what the new direction gonna be today. Lord, speaking, what you got for me next? But yeah, I just wanted to share my journey just so people know, because people have been asking me about, girl, you lost a lot of weight. Girl, you look good. Like, you just got a glow. Like, praise be to God. It wasn't always like this. And just that choice. We have to choose to be well. Come on, living well, mind, body, soul. That's my other piece that you feel interested. And that kind of talks about my journey as well. I post a lot of stuff about the alkaline diet. I'm in the mental health field, so I talk about mental health up there, which is the mind, the body. Like I said, is the alkaline part. The soul is the spirit. So yeah, that has been my journey. Thank y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all. If y'all got questions, hit me up.